Shortly after Secretary Kerry met with France's president, he spoke with CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Scott Pelley. Scott is near the American Embassy in Paris. Scott, good morning.
It's after 8. I don't hear anything. I'm not hearing the broadcast.
Scott, good morning.
Troops on the ground now to prevent an attack on the United States.
Well, as you know, President Obama made the decision some time ago to put American Special Forces on the ground in order to augment the ability of Syrian Arabs and Kurds and others to do the job. And it's getting the job done. It is working. Unfortunately, as we know, there are fighters that have come from many countries in the world, ours included, who have gone to Syria. And so the challenge of foreign fighters returning to their homes is one we have been focused on for a year or so. It's a big challenge, and we've seen the consequences in the last days.
Mr. Secretary, you say it's working, but in 2 weeks' time, ISIS brought down the Russian jetliner, attacked their enemies in Lebanon, and now attacked Paris. It doesn't feel like it's working.
Well, the strategy is to contain ISIS within Iraq and Syria and diminish their hold and destroy their headquarters and them fundamentally, because that's where all of this has emanated from. Slowly but surely, that pincer is working. But yes, they have foreign fighters who have left there and gone to other places, and that remains a challenge. And we've known all along that challenge is there. The basic strategy of destroying Daesh's center, its core, which is what we did with al-Qaeda, is working.
Scott
joins us now from Paris.
Scott, tell us more about the interview and your takeaway from Secretary Kerry and his meeting with President Hollande.
Well, Charlie, Nora, the Secretary outlined for us today a dramatic, and if it works, a historic grand alliance. He said that he can imagine in the next few weeks the United States, Russia, and France cooperating militarily against ISIS, or as he prefers to call it, Daesh, in Syria. The idea of U.S. and Russian forces fighting together, working together against this terrible enemy is a remarkable idea, but that is exactly what they're trying to do. You know, it seems to me that the Americans can't say they're supporting the Russians, and the Russians can't say they're supporting the Americans, but both can say that they're supporting France. And that might be a diplomatic breakthrough.
Incredible historic breakthrough indeed, Scott. What do you think that means then, though, for the future of Assad, given that Putin has wanted him to stay in power?
Well, Putin, as you say, wants Assad to stay in power as the dictator of Syria. The Americans want him to go. It is my impression from talking to U.S. officials that they now consider ISIS to be the larger of the two evils, and they're willing to leave Assad to the side for the moment while they attack ISIS.
When will this cooperation begin, you think, Scott?
Well, Charlie, again, I mean, this is an ambition. This is a hope that the Russians will come along. Secretary Kerry seemed to think that it would just be in the next few weeks, if it was indeed possible at all. President Hollande of France is going to be meeting with President Obama in Washington next week, and then he will be going directly to Moscow to meet with President Putin.
Scott Pelley in France. Thank you, Scott. Scott will have all the latest news on the Paris terror attacks tonight on the CBS Evening News.